Okay. So then let's start. A quick review of the data that we have. So before we do that, what you guys do is change your working directory uh, to what you need it to be. Let me see what's mine. All right. So we change the working directory. Uh, project 2. Right. So once we're done with that, let's look at the files that we need there. The data file that is summary sec underscore pm25 and then source classification code. All right. So I'm executing these two lines of code. That is reading the two files. All right. NEI data and SCC data. All right. So I'm executing line of code 3 and 4. Okay. Uh, so I have initiated that. Uh, you can also initiate it because this data is anyways there with you. While the data is getting read into R, let's look at what we need to do here. All right. So in the last week, we already uh, solved the first three questions. Uh, did you guys attempt them yourselves and kind of finish it off or not? Or it's pending? How many you have finished it? I mean, you have done it on your own also, or rather have actually done the submission on the project. None of you? Okay, Sarvani has done first three. All right, Sarvani. Okay, great. So, uh, so let's look at the fourth question. It says, across the United States, how have emissions from coal combustion related sources changed from 1999 to 2008? So, the key thing here is to see what data we want to look at. We want to look at emissions from only coal combustion related sources, which means we need to filter out some data. We need to have only some rows. And how do we get that? All right. So this is one of the biggest challenges in this question and the preceding questions. All right. So you guys come up with some ideas. What do you think? How would you want to solve this? Before I give you the answer, tell me what would you have to do here? So what would you need to do here? Okay, Utkarsh. All right, Sarvani. I mean, fine. Columns are fine, but how do you filter the data? How do you do that? Uh, okay. You guys, um, based on type, uh, based on type of, okay, let's say I have this data read into me. So I'm saying strnei data. All right. So I have type. Okay. Based on type. No. Read the types are only four, right? Point, non-point. Let's look at what are the types. I say unique unique NEI data dollar type. So I have just point, non-point, on-road, non-road. So nowhere does I have no idea what is this coal combustion. Okay, okay, come on, come up with the ideas. If you can't think of any, then I will proceed. If you want some hints, I can give you. So you want some hints on what will you do for this? Utkarsh, any clue? How will you solve this? Anmol, any clue? How will you solve this? Okay, maybe if you're not fully aware, know that we have two datas. All right, let me just show you the other data as well. Oops, what has happened? str scc data. All right, so I have. Ooh, this is huge. Yeah, so basically there are two different tables that I have, two different data frames that I have. All right. The first three questions I solved using the main data frame, that is NEI data, which is the huge one. Okay. Along with that, I have another which says source classification code data. All right. Which has some 11,000 odd observations and 15 different variables. Okay. So this is another set of data. Now see, now do you think anything can click for you? How will you go about it? Are you guys able to hear me? Can you make out what what we need to do here, or shall I proceed? Guys, can you hear me? Link between the two tables in column SCC. Perfect, right? So first thing would be, Sarvani said that you have to link. So we need to link the two tables. Let us see what is common between the two tables. All right. So so if I say strnei data, so I have this thing called SCC, right? Where it says 101, 041, and so on. So SCC code is there. And if I say str data, so that is the NEI data. Now I say SCC data. Let's see what all columns are there. So here again I have the SCC column, right? Which is the same. Here it's a factor of 11,717 levels, and in this it's just a character. All right. The NEI data out there is a character, whereas here it's a factor. All right. And I hope that doesn't create problems for us. But uh, uh, what we have is this one single column is common, so we're going to combine these two. But so we'll have to create a link between the two. All right, so having created a link, so it will so basically what are we saying? We say that finally we want the data from NEI data, right? So uh, give me 1 second, huh? Mm, okay, so uh, let's first look at the logic for what data we need. All right, that's all. So what we have here is, So my NEI data that is there would has uh, say SCC, right? And then I have emissions, and then I have the year. All right. So now I have already done this much, that I have been able to sum up group by years. All right. So I'll group by year. All right. And then I sum up to the emissions. But the only difference is the SCC that I will take would be only limited ones, which satisfy the condition that is coal combustion related, right? So this coal combustion is the keyword here. All right. So whichever SCC satisfy this condition, I will consider only them, and then I create my data. Is this fine? This is my objective here. So now which SCCs fulfill that condition? For that, I come to the SCC data that is available from the source classification code. Okay. So I have already had this data read into my system. All right. Now what I want to do is I want to kind of have a look at what the data is. Okay. One way is maybe I just look at it uh, manually. All right. As we said, it's uh, exploratory data analysis, right? Second is what I did is I said, okay, fine. Let me just try to find this word coal wherever it appears. All right. So I try to find it in the first column. So of SCC data. So tell me, how can I go about it? How can I find out whether the word coal appears in the first column of SCC data? Which command will I use? So far it is clear to you guys what we talked about? Okay. So what command will I use? I use grep. All right. So grep will allow me that. So let's say I'll say grep. Now grep means I'm grasping something. All right. Let's say I want to look for coal. All right. Initially, let me just look for coal, and where. All right. So I'm looking for it in SCC data first column. All right. And then let me say ignore case is equal to true. So I don't bother about whether it is capitals, not capitals. All right. And then I want to actually have the value output coming to me. All right. So I can say value is equal to true. So two ways, either it will return the column number where the word appears, or actually the value. So when I say this, I get character 0, which means there is nowhere the coal word appears in the first column. So instead of 1, now I go, so basically, uh, anyways it shouldn't have been, because SCC is the code on anyways, right? So next is data category. Let me see if there's something in that. So what do I do for that? So I change the column number to 2. Again, I don't get anything. Next is I want to see it in maybe column number 3, which is uh, short name. All right. So column number 3 is short name. Column number 4 is EI sector, which uh, which emission, whatever, so the sector that is used, right? Then option group, option set, and so on. So I can do 3 maybe, right? So I get a lot of data here, which has the word coal. So I don't know which one to take now. Okay. So first thing that I want to do is I want to see just explore my data and see where the word coal appears. All right. So what I'm going to do is, instead of one column at a time, I want to first see how many records are there for each column which contain the word cool. Is this fine? This is my first objective. I just want to kind of explore data and see where I want to actually select my data from. Okay. On what basis? So I'm using the sapply function. All right. I hope you have opened this file. So I'm using how many of you have opened the file? Can you please type it for me? Project 2 part 2 for class. I guess it is there in the files to students folder. Within that, uh, EDA, and yeah, so you have the file open. Pratik has the file open. So how can I go about I just want to straight away use sapply. Like for example, in this also, uh, I could have said length of this, right? How many commands have it? Length. So, so I get 239, right? So column number 3, 239 values have the word coal. Column number 4, 99 values have the word coal. Column number 5, 0 values have the word coal, and so on, right? So, uh, so now what I want to do is I want to capture it in one shot, all right? So how can I do this? I can say, let's say coal count is what I'll get, and I use sapply. All right. In sapply, what is my first input? First input is x. Like for example, all that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can say it is I, where I is a column vector, right? It's a vector from 1 to how many columns are there in SCC data, right? In this case, it is 15, right? So 1 to 15. So that is going to be by input. Now this input is going to be to what? To a function that I create. All right. I say function x. All right. And then space, right? And then this whole command, whatever I had here. So I pick this up, copy paste it here. All right. I paste it here, and instead of 5, I replace it with x now. Okay. So when I execute it, wait, somewhere I made a mistake. Argument fun is missing with okay, see the bracket here has gone wrong. All right. Uh, Again, something has gone wrong. Call count is equal to supply function x, error unexpected bracket in call count. So I guess we have an extra bracket here. Yeah. So I've got this. So now if I say call count, so I will get 15 values, right? Because the length of SCC data is 15. Okay. So I hit this. This is what I get. So I get 239, 99, 181, 126, and so on, right? So this is my, so which means there are 4 columns where the word even coal appears. Let's see what's next that we have to do, right? So there are 4 columns where this word is appearing. So now let me try to see what, so which are these columns? Third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, and 10th. All right. So third, fourth, ninth, and 10th. And if I was to do str of SCC data, all right. So what is my third column? Third one is short name. Fourth is EI sector. All right. So third and fourth, and then fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, and 10th. So sorry, ninth, that is SCC level 3 and SCC level 4. So if I just look at the name, somehow I don't think I need to bother about this SC level 3 and SC level 4. Probably this short name and sector might give me some idea better. All right. So what I do is I want to study these little more. Okay. So first is I want to see what all are the column names that are there which correspond to this. All right. So I say S names of SCC data. Which ones? Where the coal count is greater than 0. All right. So I get these 4 columns. Is it clear to you guys for so far? Though I have given you the code, I'm kind of explaining everything, how or the logic behind it. So even though it's line number 20 in the code, I'm giving you the um, how it is done. Is this part clear? So these are the 4 columns that are of interest to me. Okay. So now what I do next is I say, okay, let me actually capture these values for these corresponding uh, columns. Uh, so earlier I was saying length, right? Now what I'll do is I'll ignore the, so in my grep, right? In the supply, I had used length here, right? So let me knock off the length. I don't want to use the length. Okay. I say that was call count. I say this is call found now. All right, how much, which all are the columns, and what are the values, what are the rows where the values, what is there, right? So I'm not saying the length, I'm actually taking the value now. So I say coal found. So I say coal found. Okay. uh, if I do an str of this, I will have 15, right? Str of coal found. So it has, hmm, it's a list, right? List of 15 values. Out of that, the third and the fourth will have some values. It says character from 1 to 239. All right. And then character from 1 to 99. That is third and fourth. And then ninth and 10th, 181 and 126. So what I do is I say, let me just try to individually look at these. I say coal found. All right. And then it's a list, right? So if it's a list, I want to read the third list. So third list looks something like this. It says coal mining and so many things. Okay. Uh, all transport, coal. So it's huge. So one way to do it is I pick up the third column, and wherever the word coal appears, I use that. Okay. But I'm, because the word combustion also appears, I was really not so sure which one to pick up. So I also wanted to see the fourth column. So I said, let me look at the fourth column. When I look at the fourth column, suddenly I see that I have these many columns where these values are there. And what are these values? They're not unique. Let me make it unique also, right? So what's more of interest to us is unique values out of this. Okay, I say unique. All right. So so if I say unique, so basically these three fuel, comps probably stands for combustion. All right. So I say fuel combustion, it says electric generation coal, fuel combustion industrial boilers, fuel combustion commercial and institutional coal. So this seems to be more relevant to what is needed, coal combustion related sources. So the fourth column, which is the EI sector, seems to give me something better. Let me move on to another sectors and see what is that. So ninth one also. So ninth one, I do a, give me a specific one. So what I'm getting here is different types of coal that is used, all right, for that activity. So again, uh, i- i- so I could be using any of these, right? So even if the coal is there, I'm sure it is getting consumed, and that's why the coal is mentioned, right? So either I could use the column number 9 and pull out this data, okay, which are the basically specific values here, the unique values, and select SCC corresponding to this. Or I could use the column number 3, or maybe 4, right? So let's see what are the, how many unique values. So 3 has a lot of unique values. Okay. 4 has only 3 unique values. And then let's look at 10. So 10 has 77 unique values. Again, different kind of values which I, so in my case, when I solved this assignment, I used column number 4. But know this, it's an open-ended question. And this is how you will actually be doing your data analysis also. Whatever you choose, just give a reason behind why you're choosing that. All right. So in my case, I chose that, and I gave a reason that I felt that EI sector, that is sector-wise, there is a coal combustion directly related there, and therefore I used it. Okay. So, but I showed all of this four, that okay, I have data from all the four, and then I'm using only coal combustion related one that is there. So I'm focusing only on one column. It could be multiple columns also. I could have done that. Okay, whatever is appearing in column 4, let me see what extra is appearing in maybe any another column, maybe column 3 or column 9 or column 10. Do you see thing? So this is a very subjective solution here. It's not very exactly this one could be the right solution, right? As long as you can justify what you're doing, that is good enough. Okay. So let's say, for the sake of moving ahead, let's say I pick up the column number 4. All right. So now what I need to do is I pick up the column number 4, and uh, if I say coal found, all right. Uh, so what I need to do is, let's first create create a, okay, let's just coal found fourth list. All right. So I have all these values. Okay. Now uh, I can say SCC data comma 4. All right. In. So how many of the, so now let me explain it here. So what I'm interested now is, I know what are the Say this is my uh, EI sector. Okay, so there are many of them. Out of that, 99 rows, okay, have three unique values which contain the word coal. All right. So what I'm interested in is only uh, the corresponding. So there are these 99 sectors, right? 99, sorry, rows, right? 99 rows. So corresponding to these 99 rows, there is SCC, right? So I want to pull out only those SCC codes. I'm not interested in any other. So those SCC codes are what are of interest to me here. I said I want to filter it, right? So I want to pull out those 99 rows of SCC code which correspond to the EI sector which has these 99 rows where have these three unique values are contained. Is this clear? Are you guys are fine here? Have you all understood what I want to do here? So how do I go about doing this? So let me see what, come on, come up with a suggestion. What I've done in the file also, there might be something better than that that we can do probably. So how do I, so basically I need to finally find out these SCC codes. First, so first thing is somehow if for this particular column, that is let's say EI sector, if I can create a column which is true false, right? And then use that as the basis for the SCC column, I can get my answer. Is this fine? So I need to get a column which gets me a true or false from the EI sector. Okay. Uh, so what are the total number of uh, rows that are there? Let's look at that first. So say length of SCC data and the fourth column. All right. So there are 11,717 rows, right? I'm interested in 99 rows out of that. Okay. So I would get something wherein I get 99 trues and everything else is a false. Is this fine? Are you clear till so far? So how do I get that? Maybe I say SCC data fourth column, right? So whatever the data, it should be in, I can say unique uh, coal found fourth list. All right. So if I do this, let's see what I get. So if you notice, I get a huge thing of trues and false, but I can't make out much out of it. So what's the best way to understand how many trues and how many false are there? I use the command table. All right. I say table of this. If you notice how many falses are there, 11618, how many trues? 99. Is it clear so far? You guys can hear me? So Sarvani, it is clear. What about the rest of you? Anmol, it is clear. Okay. Salman, it is clear. Okay, right? So I'm in, so I, this is what I've created already now, right? So I have my single column created, which is giving me true or false. This will allow me to pull out some data and suppress some other data. So what I do is let me put this into, so this thing, let me put it into a variable, right? I say selected columns. All right. So I put it in selected columns or sorry, selected rows. Okay. So I say selected rows. And now I apply the selected rows on what? On which column? SCC, sorry, SCC data dollar, or rather just the first one, right? First one, but so this is the first one complete as it is, right? Instead of that, I can say selected rows, right? So if I do this, what's my output? Let's just, so if you notice, this is the output 97, 98, 99. So let me just show you the length for this, right? I'd say length. If I look at the length, I have 99. And if I look at the values, they are these, right? So now this is what I have got, right? So I get my final SCC data that I'm interested in. Okay, so uh, so once I have this, now what I need to do is use that as the unique values from the so far it is clear what I've shown here. Okay, I might have done slightly differently in the project file, but uh, this is what it is, right? So I have this. Now what I do is, okay, I'll repeat this. From where do you want me to repeat it, Jatin? Uh, so after the table command, all right. So till the table command you understood, right? We say table, we have 99. So basically what we are able to do, we have created a column here, okay, which is either say true or false or true or false or true, true, false, false, false. Now, how many trues are there in this? 99. How many falses will be there? 11717 minus 99. All right. So these are the falses. So I just wanted to see how many trues and falses are there, right? It should be 99. So my command that I executed, basically table command does that for us, right? So if I have uh, a vector of two values or three values, it will compute how many, basically the frequency of each of that. That is what the table command does, right? So table command was clear to you, right, Jatin? Now once we have that, now what I have is, so I have this, basically I have this column of trues and falses, right? So if I apply this column straight away as a selection for my rows on any column, I will get only the corresponding 99 rows. So I can, so where do I need to apply it? I need to apply it on SCC first column, right? So how do I do that? I, first thing is I have selected this, all right? So this same command on which I had applied the table, I take those values and I put them in selected rows, all right? So once I've done that, so like selected rows now is a vector of trues and false, okay? Which out of which 99 values are true. Once I have that, now I apply this true and false on my uh, SCC data's which column? First column. But here I want to select something. So which columns do I want to, which rows do I want to select? I say selected rows, right? So when I say selected rows, basically what is it doing? It is a single vector of 11,717 values, where somewhere it is true, somewhere it is false. And when we do it like this, when you give an input which is true or false, the subsetting, right, only the ones which are true will be returned to you. So the moment I do this, I get all these codes. How many in number? Always look at the last value here, 97. This is the 97th value, this will be the 98th value, this will be the 99th value. Is this clear? So I have been able to pull out 99 values out of it. 99 values of SCC code. I know which are the ones now. And that was my objective when I started off. Is it clear now, Jatin? All right. Yeah. So now, once we have this selected, okay, what we do is we need to apply it in the NEI data, right? So what I do is I say, uh, what is the data that I need to select? So I say NEI data. All right. Again, the first column of NEI data is of interest to us, right? So I can say selected rows, comma 1. All right. Let me see what is the length of this. All right. So have we actually selected the right values? So the number of values that are there is 54,000. All right. So some 55,000 odd records contain one of those values. And just to verify that is this correct or not, is this the, what is the original number? It is this huge, right? So out of 6 million values, we have been able to select only some 55,000 rows which correspond to coal combustion. As per our subjective definition of what coal combustion is, which we pulled out from the fourth column of SCC data. Is this part clear now? How we have filtered out the data? Yeah. Okay, great. Huh? So once we do this, so my code that I've given is you slightly different, but this is even more neat, I guess, but almost similar, right? So now what I do is, uh, so basically I want to select the whole of this, right? So which is the data of interest to me. So I say NEI data selected rows comma space because I'm saying all the columns I'm interested in, right? When I'm because later on I'll be interested in what all I'm interested in the year, I'm interested in the total PM and everything, right? So I say all of these columns. So this is my data now. That is what I'm interested in. Okay. So if I do an str of this, I will have uh, so this is what I get now. Only difference is now there are 54,000 observations instead of 6 million observations of these six variables. Clear so far? Now it's straightforward. Nothing I need to do more. Just like the previous plot, if you were there in the last class. So how do I so libraries deployer that you call, then I say okay, my NEI data is this selected rows. All right, let me just make a slight change. What I can do is hold on. There is a slight mistake that is possible. Wait. What did we do? We so no. We can't say selected because selected rows was for hold on, right? So selected rows. Okay, fine. So next is SCC data. It is fine. In NEI data, you can't straight away say selected rows. Are you getting this? I made a mistake here. Did you? Any of you notice this mistake? Was any of you able to figure out this mistake that I made? Jatin, were you able to figure out the mistake? Now you notice it when I remind you. Were you able to figure this out before that? I haven't made the join, right? I haven't selected. Uh, you couldn't figure it out, right? Right. See now, selected rows has how many values, right? Selected rows has some 11,000 values. If I say length of selected rows, okay, so this is this value, right? What I'm interested in is those particular uh, SCC data which corresponds to the true values in selected rows. So what is that data? First I say SCC data, all right, and then I say selected rows comma 1. Okay, so this is the data that I'm interested in. My NEI data first column, all right, should be in this. This is what is of interest to me. Okay, so let me just make a, is this clear? So I say length, all right, so length of, so this the length would be anyway 64999, but I should do a table rather than the length, right? I say table, right? So no, wait, something, where are we going wrong? uh Hold on. NEI data first column, let's look at unique of NEI data first column. Oops, not the first, yeah, first column only, yeah, right. And then let's look at the unique of SCC data first column. So now this data is factor, right? And that's a number. So you'll have a problem here, right? How can we even pull it out? How can we even compare? I guess we'll not be able to compare, right? So what do we need to do here? Uh, I guess we'll need to uh, so can we use as dot character? Can we convert it into a character straight away? Let's see what we get. No, so we're still getting the same output, right? Only the false values. There's nothing that is getting selected. Uh, wait. So this factor and um, as num, is it? No, no. How will as num work? It's a okay, right. So what we need to do is as num for what? For any data, right? Not for uh, as dot num it is or as num. You mean to say as numeric? No, I don't think no, it's not a numeric. Though as numeric. Let's see what we get. No, this didn't seem to get us anywhere. Uh, what we'll do is let's just do something very simple now for now, right? So uh, SCC data. So this is what is of interest to us. Okay. Now what we need to do is how do we convert it into as character maybe, right? As if we are to do this, what do we get? Yeah, so this is converting it into character. All right. This is happening. Now next thing is, so if we were to use as character, this should ideally have given us the results. Hmm. Um, these values seem to be not even matching. Uh, Come on, you guys also try out. There are only 3,000 odd values here, unique values of NEI data. Okay, and all of these values seem to be maximum of length 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So nothing seems to be greater than length 5. How do we check that? Mm, mm, what's the command? So this will give me the number of rows. I want to find out the length, right? So this seems to be only 5 column, uh, very small values, whereas what we got as an output, SCC, what is our values? SCC data Let's do unique of SCC data, comma 1. Are there any values which are as small as the ones that we got? Are we comparing the right columns, first of all, or have we ended up taking a wrong one? This doesn't seem to be right, right? Wait. Let's just see. Is this the first column that we need to compare? Which ones? So if I say NEI, str of NEI data. Oops, see, second column. You got it? Where we are making the mistake? The first column was FIPS in NEI data. It's the second column, SEC, right? So once we do this, so table NEI data 2, all right? Is this fine? You saw where the mistake was? Perfect, right? So we have these 28,000 rows now, all right? Let's see if we were to knock off this as character, what do we get? Do we get same values? Okay. Luckily, it has worked, I mean, that uh, even without using it, converting it into character, this answer probably seems to be same, all right? But ideally, you should want to convert it into as character, all right? So here what I've done is, uh, okay, so we can say maybe, yeah, so is this fine, clear no, so far? How do we select it? So there'll be 28,000 rows that are of interest to us, and this is how we kind of combine the two. We say, okay, in my NEI data, my SEC column that is there, uh, say SEC column, I pull these values from whatever unique values that are there in the uh, whatever I have got, those 99 values, all right? So I have those 99 values. I want to select only those columns, sorry, those rows here which correspond to these 99 values. All of you are clear with this? Okay. So now this is going to be my selection of the data. All right. And now what I need to do is I need to group it by year. Once I have filtered my data, yeah, Salman. Okay, go ahead. Ask questions. I will do that. So now what are we doing here? We had the selected rows, right? Our focus is to get these 99 rows. Which are these 99 rows? I say SEC data, all right, and selected rows, right? That is clear. Selected rows part was clear to you, comma 1. Okay, so this is the data of interest to me, all right, 99 values here. Okay, and at max I can apply unique to this, but that doesn't matter actually. So even if I apply unique, I guess they must be unique, all right? So even then I'm getting 99 values. Okay, so now, so this is of interest to me, that is SCC data, selected rows. So these are these 99 values of SCC code. Now so I have to select uh, NEI data, which SCC codes. So the second column is, yeah, you can go ahead, you can proceed further. That's why the whole code and everything is there for you, right? uh, you can in fact spend, I'm not giving you the plots, how to plot it, right? You go ahead with Utkarsh and do that, right? Do the plot part. Okay, so now we have NEI data, right? But this will give me, if I look at just the second column, this will give me all the codes. That's not what I'm interested in. Okay, now I'm interested in only those columns where only, sorry, those rows where the values are as per what I had here. So I can say uh, my, so these are the values, right? But I can't put them directly here like this. What I'll need to do is I'll need to say NEI data uh, dollar say SCC in, all right? This way I'm able to pull out only those values that I'm interested in. So this way I will have those records from NEI data, those rows from NEI data, which correspond to these 99 uh, SCC codes. Okay, so there's no point executing this, it will be huge. Let me just do the length of this. Okay, no, actually, yeah, right. So I get this answer 28480. That's what I got earlier also. Yeah, is it clear to you now, Salman? Utkarsh, I guess I've already answered you, right? You go ahead. Yeah, so please ask what is not clear. Okay, in the new, shall I give you a mic access? Let me see. If you guys all start using good quality headphones, anyone wants a question and it's a little difficult to explain, I mean, I can just very easily give the mic access. Probably that should take care of it. Salman, I'm muting you. All right, I'm unmuting you. Okay, please tell me. Yes, the unique rows in SCC data are 99. Perfect, right? But corresponding to those,
Okay.
there'll be many values in NEI data, right? It's like, for example, I say year. So in your case, year is first year or second year, right? And then the name of the student in our class. So now unique values in the year are only two, one and two, right? I say who all are the first yearites. So corresponding to one, there'll be 12 values, right? So similarly, corresponding to these 99 values, there are 28,480 values in the NEI data. And these 99 values are from SCC data. Is it clear now? And how do I combine that? I use this command here. To all of you guys, it is clear? Basically, it's more like join here, right? So this is how we joined it up. Okay, then okay. So what part is not clear, Salman? No. I understood. I guess no. How can the unique rows in the new combination that we created in NEI data from SCC data be 99? Wherever those values appear, it will show up, and therefore 28,000 values are. Okay, great. Got it? No? Okay, good. All of you also got it? Shall I proceed further? So now all I need to do is this. So if I use the dplyr, look at the code that is there. Like I say library dplyr. So NEI data, all this selection I've done. Then I say group by year, summarize it by total PM25, right? And I get my data, right? So this is the data that I'm interested in. It is how the emissions from coal combustion related sources. That is what I've pulled up first. Then says, so how have they changed? That means I'll sum it up. So I'll summarize it, right? Sum it up. And then change from 99 to 2008. That means I'll have to group it by year. So this will give me my data which I need to plot. Okay. So is it okay if I don't spend any time on the plot part? That you can take care, right? So the key thing here was pulling out which data you need to pull out. Now the fifth part of the question is, how have emissions from motor vehicle sources changed from 1999 to 2008 in Baltimore City? How are question 4 and 5 different? All right. What is different between the two? So logically, first again, I have to do something similar. I have to filter out my SCC. Exactly. Now we have to search for a source which has motor, right? Or vehicle, whichever way. Okay, so so perfect. So again, it's a very subjective way of solving this. That's all right, Almon. Huh? So at the same time, once we have selected that, then we will say FIPS also is equal to 24510, right? So there'll be two filtrations. First is, let us focus on getting these vehicle sources. So motor vehicle sources. Now again, as I said, it's totally subjective. What I did is I used the word vehicle instead of the word coal that was there earlier. All right, and again I stuck to column number 4. Okay, so uh, what I'm doing here is I say grep. All right, grep what uh, vehicle. All right, where in SCC data column number 4. All right, and then I say ignore dot cases is equal to ignore dot case is equal to true. All right, and then I want the value. By default the value is false. I say value is equal to true. Okay, uh, so I get these values. Heavy duty vehicles. So basically, okay, so this is the data that I'm getting. uh, Going through that will be slightly tedious, but what I do now is then I do a length of this. How many data points am I getting here? Okay, so I'm getting some 1100 data points. Let's do a unique of this, right? How many are unique? So I say unique. All right, and then I don't even need to do the length. In fact, let me replace the length with unique. So I get only these four. It says mobile, on road, gasoline, light. So there, it is only these places where the word vehicle is being used. Now I want to check out whether the category motor is also taken care. So now on road, gasoline, light duty vehicle. So light duty vehicles definitely they'll be motorized. Heavy duty vehicles will be motorized, right? Again, light duty diesel. So basically petrol and diesel, right? So they'll be motor, right? So basically it's a very very subjective way of looking at it. So I just chose the column number 4. We could have done same thing for column number 3. Let's see what do we get. All right, so again we're getting, but there's so many things like vehicle cooking and so many things, right? So and here you use the word motor vehicle. So what I could have done is maybe I could have said, all right, motor vehicle. Okay, so now if I do this, then I get motor vehicles. So I could have used column 3 as well. All right, so Anmol, or any of you, you don't need to stick to what I have done as long as you really explain why you chose column 3 or column 4 or whichever any other column. That's perfectly okay. Okay, grep command. All right, I'll do that. So when you say grep, right, I'm just retyping it. First part is pattern, right? What do I want to search? Let's say I want to search motor vehicle. All right, now the next is where do I want to search it? So give the vector or the data from where you want to search it, right? So in my case I say SCC data. All right, and I want to search it in uh, let's say fourth column. Okay, so in each of the values of the column it will search for that value. Okay, and then I say ignore dot case. So I don't want to bother about the case, so whether it is m capital or small or doesn't matter, right? So I say case is equal to true. So this much only I do. What do I get? I get some, it says integer 0, which means nothing. It is, there's no values which contain that, right? If I just for search for vehicle, so I get the call row numbers where those values are there, but I'm not interested in the row numbers. So what I do, I say value is equal to true. If I do this, now I actually get the values, but this is again tedious, right? So what do I say unique. So I say unique, so I'll get only the unique values. Is this clear now? The grep command is clear. It is kind of looking for each say let me graphically try to explain this also, right? So you have this column, right, and it has some English written here, something here. So whatever word you're looking for, okay, it will search for it in this. If it is there, then it'll give you true. Otherwise, if it is not there, it'll give you false. So you get a vector of trues and falses, right? So by default, you'll get this, or basically the corresponding number, right? So wherever it is true, give that number, otherwise drop it. So I say, okay, wherever it matches, give that number, say 1. Wherever it doesn't match, doesn't matter, 117 and so on. So one way is just take the row number. Second is I say, okay, give the actual value that was stored here. All right. say A1. So A1, right? This is A117 and so on, right? So this is what grep does. No, it is not like VLOOKUP. VLOOKUP does exact matching, right? It can only look there is no way to do partial matching in VLOOKUP. Here we are doing exact partial matching also, where if even if the word uh, vehicle appears anywhere in that whole value, give it to me. Clear? Huh? So so is this clear? The grep command is also clear to you guys. So what we will do here is we will use the vehicle thing here, right? And so that way we will be able to pull out data only for corresponding say motor vehicles, right? And then Baltimore City. So basically, once I've done all of this, let's look at what's the change in the code here. I say uh, with vehicle is this, then eventually I need to specify here, right? So when I'm pulling the data, look at the line number 77, all right? And then I say and NEI data. We already have it done, in fact, here underneath. Okay, here I'm doing it just for this. Then I'm saying AB's and NEI data dollar FIPS is equal to 24510. All right, so this is what it is. Is this clear? So I can just pull this particular data and go ahead and plot it. Okay, when you're plotting it, what you do is once you plot, look at what the question has. It is changed. So best way is to also draw an AB line. All right. So once you and how do you draw the AB line? You basically do a linear regression modeling using the function LM. Whatever input comes, that give that to an AB line, and a line is drawn, and that line kind of becomes very. It clearly indicates whether the value is increasing, decreasing, staying same, and so on. Okay. So I will look at the sixth question now. Uh, okay. So So the sixth question he says is compare emissions from motor vehicle sources in Baltimore City with emissions from motor vehicle sources in Los Angeles County. All right. So the FIPS are different. So this county is different. This county is different. Which city has greater changes over the time in motor vehicle emissions? Okay. So now this is what we need to find out. Okay. Tell me, how do you go about it? We want to compare and then we want to show which one has greater changes over time in motor vehicle emissions. So this question is slightly not really tricky in the sense how do you define which one has greater changes on what parameters, what basis? First is let's look at the what that corresponding data is. Then we can maybe move ahead and say something. Huh? So initially, even when we are not clear, let's say, okay, what we will finally get. Let's say if we were to get the data also, eventually, what will we have? We will have data which is something like this. Let's say I say, so I'll have data where I say year, all right, 99, 2002, whatever, 3, 8, and so on, whatever it is, right? So there are 4 years, I guess, right? And then I say Baltimore, and then I say Los Angeles. Okay, so I'll have some value here, all right? I say Y1, Y2, Y3, Y4, and then I have Z1, Z2, Z3, Z4, right? So I want to compare these values, right? These two values as time changes. So it says compare emissions from Baltimore versus Los Angeles. All right. So I want to compare these. And then which city has shown greater changes over time? How do I show that? What would be the way? Let's say this is what I get as data. We will look at how we get the data. From this, how do we go about it? On what basis can we say which one would be greater changes over time? And notice it is only saying greater changes using bar graph. No, the graph we should exactly. Anmol said we should look at the percentage change in both. Excellent, right? So we should somewhere look at percent change also, right? So let's first look at the data, and then you see what how the data is, and then we'll see how we can go about it, right? So uh, first is getting to the data, right? So first is again all that stuff wherein I filter it out, and let me just do this quickly, right? I'm not going to go through the whole details. We have already done this, okay? So I'm just kind of executing it, okay, so that we get our data, all right? Oops. Okay. So I just executed all those lines of code. Okay. So now what I do is first is uh, this is the previous part of the question, the fifth one. All right. Wherein I just, or so let's say I say Baltimore, right? AB. So this is what my data is. I say NEI data is in SEC with vehicle. That is one thing. And then FIPS is this. All right. So and then I group it by year and then summarize the data. So I get AB data. All right. So if I look at the AB data, what is it? I say AB. That's Baltimore data basically. So it's like 346, 134, about a few hundreds, right? The data has changed from 346 to 88. This is what Baltimore data is. Then let me look at. So I read the Los Angeles data. So there the FIPS code is 06037, right? So Los Angeles is a much bigger city, I guess, more urban, so therefore more pollution. Let's see. Hopefully, I mean, the so AC is this. So it says 3000. It was 99, 3900, and gone up to 4100, right? So as such, just by looking at data, we can very clearly, first of all, which one has a positive change, which one has a negative change over the years, right? You can see that clearly that maybe Los Angeles has a increase in the pollution rates, whereas Baltimore has a decrease in the pollution rates. But the question is which one has greater changes, not in which direction, right? So if you look at the greater changes just by looking at this data, you can see that okay, Baltimore has greater changes because it changes all percent wise from 346. It has changed down. It has come down to 88, right? Almost just 33% of what it was earlier, right? Whereas this guy here, it is around 4000 to begin with and ends up being at 4100. So there isn't much change here, right? So but I have to I can't write anything, so I have to show it graphically, right? So one is, let me just plot this graph as it is, right? So that'll be the first plot, and then we can see how I can go about doing it at a percent level. Okay, so is it clear so far? Is the data part clear? And then we can plot it also. All you guys, everything is clear so far? Utkarsh, uh, I would recommend you try using the other ones also. Like say I told you to use column 4, right? But I said this is very subjective. See if column 3 gets you something similar, because you have more time at hand. Maybe experiment with it, right? Instead of just following my methodology. Okay, yeah, maybe 3 or 9 or 10. See, understand that data well. Okay, by the way, what had happened for me was, um, yeah, let me just add something here to you guys. The SCC data, uh, I had posted a question about this, that this is the way I'm going ahead with it. So this was as I had, now all my course has been removed from Coursera. They've kind of put it in, so you can't get to those links. But that question that I asked had many replies from the TAs. So one of these guys actually gave me one file wherein I understood that data well, right? He gave me a PDF file of US data. Okay. So the point that I'm making here is, it is not only going to be data, as we say, you're going to do the analysis. You'll have to pick up output from any or inputs or data from wherever you can. So I read that file. It was some 200 documents or pages of file. I didn't kind of read it. I kind of flashed through it to decide or shortlist the fourth column. Okay. But as I said, there is no one way. You should look at maybe the, I can't look at the discussion forums. You guys should go into the discorum uh, I'll see if it is there with me. Okay, let me just quickly have a look. Hmm, project 2. I don't even remember if I bothered to kind of save it also or not, or did I just read it on the, on the net. uh, Basically it was a detailed explanation of EI sector, right? So I don't have it. Let me just let's just do a quick Google. All right, if you guys can go into your this thing, uh, you can read more information here. All right, EPA National Emissions Inventory website. Let's see what all do we have here. So actually the emissions inventory, all this is data. It was the code table here, emissions inventory tools, right? So the code tables, I guess they were the ones. No, 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 this is a MDB file, that was a PDF. Maybe why don't you do this? Post this question on the discussion forum in your course. I don't have access to it anymore, right? Post this question. Say we want to understand more of this data and how to select it. Though, even though now you already know the answer, just pose a question as if you don't know it. The TAs will come back and answer. And in fact, actually, if you look at it, somebody would have already posted that question. Okay, so do that. I'll also look at it and send it across in case I find it. Okay. Uh, so basically, we are doing an analysis of data from here as such. Okay. All right. So, okay, coming back to this. So now this is what I have. All right. So I want to do a plot. So I have my values. Okay. So first is, so AC data is bigger, right? So what I say is, so I want to plot both of them initially on the single plot. I say X is equal to AC year, Y is equal to AC total PM25. Okay. Then I say color type is both. All right. Color is black. PCH 15. That is like what PCH is. I'll show you what PCH is. Okay. I say PCH. Basically, uh, all right. So it is about what points you want to plot. Okay. So 0 to this. So I'm using point number 15. So I'll plot a square and a round. So one is for the square, the other for the round. So I say PCH is equal to 15. Then I use a Y limit of 100 to 4600. Why do I need to use the Y limit? Tell me. If I was to just plot the AC data, let's see. Okay. I say plot. Now my x-axis is AC dollar year. My y-axis is AC dollar total PM25. Okay. I plot this. I get something like this. Okay. But I want to make it more understandable. So I say type is equal to B. All right. So I get this. But so now instead of the default circles that are there, I say PCH is equal to 15. Okay. So this is what changes. All right. And now, but if you notice, this is from 4000 to 4600, right? But if I was to use the same plot to plot Baltimore data, it will not fit into this, right? So instead of that, what do? I say also y lim. Okay. So the limit of the y-axis is 100 to, or I can say 0 to 4600. All right. So that'll be even better instead of 100, because so now this is how the graph looks like, right? Say 0 to 4600. There's the values. Once I've done this, now what I can do is I can draw a regression line. All right. So again, my regression line will be, let's say I call it R line. All right, just the data, right? I say LM, linear modeling, and AC. So Y tilde X, that's always the font syntax, right? AC total PM25 tilde AC $year. All right, and then I say AB line. Now I say R line. All right. So I get another one, but I don't want this color because this is all black. I can't make out, right? So I say color is equal to, let's say, red. So I get a, so it gives me an idea at least. So the value is increasing, but slightly. All right. And now I can, on the same plot, I can plot my s- uh, my data for Baltimore. So I say AB $year, comma AB total PM25. Okay. So I plot this. So I get the values here. Again, I want to change it. So instead of this, I say comma type is equal to B, and then comma PCH is equal to, let's say, 16. Okay. So I get this. All right. So now again, I want to draw the AB line, right? So I say my R line in this case would be for AB, right? Instead of AC. So I get R line, and then I say AB line. Let me make the color blue. So I get a trend line here as well. Okay. But this does not give me an idea which one is changing more, because the data range is so different, right? Here it is some 346 to 88, and therefore it shows up like this, and here it is 41 to 40, 4000 to 41. So I can't really make out much. So now what I need to do, so okay, first of all, let me even complete this. So I need to add a legend, right? I want to add a legend. So I say legend. Let's say I have space here, right? So I'm adding it on the left. I say legend on the left, line type is equal to 1. So got it? I say linear regression line. So red is for Los Angeles, blue is for Baltimore. And then similarly, I can for the PCH values, right? So add another one which comes here. It says Los Angeles, Baltimore. Then I can add a title and all those things. Is this clear so far? And then we'll improve it. But is it clear what we have done now and how we plotted it? Are you guys clear with the graph? Okay, right. Now, as Anmol pointed out, he said finally you can't make out anything out of this. So I want to use some kind of a percent scale to get a better idea, right? And then you'll have to kind of convey that also using your you'll have to mention it in the header or wherever you want to do this, right? So what I do is uh, I would say how do we go about it? Let's say what do I need to plot? Uh, so in this whole thing, how can I do that? Uh, Straight easiest way would be once I have the AB and the AC, right? If I say AB dollar total PM, mm, how do you add a column? Wait, can I add this way? Can I say, let's look at it. I can say AB column 3. All right. So I'm adding another column, and the value is such that the value is AB column 2 divided by AB 1 comma 2. So I'm dividing it by the first value for the whole row. All right. So what I get now is if I look at AB, so I have another vector v3 here, which has a value 1 and so on. Is this fine? And rather than this. Now I have to name it also, right? How can I name it? Hmm. So I can say name AB3 is equal to uh, base 100. Let's make it. Okay. Uh, oops. How do we do it? How do we change the header? Isn't it name? All right. So names AB3. All right. So now if I look at AB, oops, why has it not changed? Anyways, so instead of this, what I can do is better would be AB3 is this in 200. All right. So I'd get a more better picture of it as a percent. So I say AB. So I get these values. Same thing I can do for AC. Is it clear what am I doing here? So I'm okay. So if I say AC, so I have similar thing here. So it's changing from 100 to 104, whereas this is changing from 100 to 225. So now I want to plot this, right? So I can do another plot, okay, similar to the whole of this plot. Okay, let's copy paste it. The only difference is that instead of using this, I can use the third column now, right? I say uh, dollar base 100. Okay, let me just keep it simple. I said this comma 3. All right, and let's see where all I need to change it. So instead of y label, it will not be PM in tons, it will be PM. All right, so I will have this. Similarly, when I'm plotting the other one, I would say this comma 3, right? So the other points that I'm plotting here again, instead of total PM2, my regression line will be for third column. Okay, similarly here also, instead of total PM2, my regression line will be for the third column. Okay, and then we'll change the titles. Let's see what do we get now. Maybe everything is gone fine, otherwise we might have made some mistake. We'll change it. Okay, so the mistake is we can't have uh, we don't need to have the y limit all the way from, so we knock off the y limit part. All right, because the values are just so we don't need this. Okay, so let's draw the plot again. So what has happened here now? Oops, so it plotted only. So what we'll need to do is we need to do it from 0 to maybe, so we need the y limit. Okay, y limit is equal to 0 to 200. All right, so Okay, so I haven't put the comma here, so that created the error. All right, so are you getting what we are doing? So get a graph like this, right? So I need to change the labels now. So instead of being at the bottom, these guys can move to top right and top left. Are you getting it? What am I doing? I'm just converting it into a base 100 kind of a thing to see how the two compare with each other. So this gives you a better comparison now of the same data. Have you guys got it? Understood what we did now? So let's do both of these plots. Okay. So for that, what do I need to do? So if I want to do both the plots, okay, here I say, how do we do it? Par mf rows number of rows is 1, number of columns 2. What's the syntax for mf row actually? All right. Hi class, you got it or you're confused? What we did about the plotting part. The code will also make it clear to you. So what I'm doing is I'm now drawing them on the same this thing. Okay, you need to work on this. Okay, I've just kind of made a slight change. You need to make it better, see where it is overlapping and all. But this can be your output page basically, and make it more understandable with the proper labels and everything. Have you guys got it? Understood what I've done? Any questions on how you plot it, etc., to actually give the final answer? Okay, so I guess this is clear then. So at least you got an idea how, I mean, now, like for example, Utkarsh said, okay, good. No, uh, so I'm just giving you a glimpse of what I had submitted. All right. So I'm not giving you any of that code. That was the answer for the first question. All right. I didn't bother to draw the regression lines, but I would recommend you do draw it. When I was reviewing the code, that's where I saw one of these guys had done it, and I found, yeah, this is very amazing. So even mine is not really as good, but I've taken care of all these labels properly. Those things you take care of, right? PM25 tons, etc. All right. And then the third one I had done this way. Third question was to plot it in different facets. Okay, again drew an RB line for this. Okay, and then the fourth one was just this much. Again, do a AB line. Okay, make sure that your linear regression is taken care. And then this was the fifth one, motor vehicles. Again, do an AB line here. And the last one, I had done these many plots, but you don't need it actually. Just the last two are good enough actually. What I had done is I had individually plotted them to show how the data looks like. Okay, and then I had done a fourth one, which was the two data combined, and then the last one, which was 100 base 100. Is it clear? So we done with the second project as well. So any more clarity on this? If we're done, then we can move ahead and discuss some other things. All of you fine? You understood it all? Was it interesting? I found it quite interesting when I was solving it, especially the third question, because, and then the last question, this part, comparison. So saying that, okay, we'll have to actually, because the data was not in the same range. So How do you so the only way to compare it is to set one base as common. All of you guys are fine, or was I just talking to myself? So let me just save this file. You can take the latest one. Okay, okay. All right, Kaustab. Okay, Anmol. Okay, Shruti. Okay. So, hmm, so so you'll be able to all figure out, right? You'll be able to do the project two and also take the quiz number two. All right. I guess there is a quiz, right? I think there's a quiz. So I hope you have taken the quiz one also. These quizzes are easy. I mean, and don't bother. I realized one thing when we started off. We said we'll take closed book quizzes, right? Major learning is in the projects and the assignments. So we're focusing more on that because that's hands-on. Okay, and so you guys, on as far as quizzes are concerned, go through the notes. All right, keep it open book. So that is mainly to ensure that you don't have any wrong concept wrong with you. Your concepts are clear. All right. So finish off the quizzes. You don't need to spend too much time on them. Even if you just Google out, you'll be able to get your answers. I mean, not copy paste answers, but searching for the answers for what you're looking at. All right, is this fine? So project also. Now, now let's, since today we kind of done earlier, let's just discuss what all we can do moving ahead. Uh, any questions from the projects? Project one, project two, anything else? Otherwise, we can just discuss our plans ahead. I guess everything is fine. So this is better. This is a better way of going ahead and learning, wherein we are discussing more of the projects and assignments and having the code behind it rather than only the class notes. It's only the class slides. Yeah. So we'll proceed this way in all the courses. Okay, fine. Uh, Now coming to let's just look at a little bit of what else we have moving ahead. Uh, we have two choices. One is we can um, uh, now the next 2 weeks are case studies. In fact, to be honest, even I haven't gone through them in detail. They're basically just explaining some other concepts like I guess clustering, etc. All right, we can always do them later. My objective is initially let's just finish what requires us to have some deliverables like the quizzes and the assignments. So from quizzes and assignments point of view, as we are at Saturday, Sunday night, as you finish both the quizzes and both the projects, we are done with the course number 4. All right, and so what we can do is we can plan to maybe start off with course number 5. All right, from the next week. And so that you may not be able to enroll for it, but by us going through it in the class, at least you would have understood the projects and everything and created it on your own. And then just when then the next month's course starts, you can submit it also, right? One option is that. Another is maybe we take a break for 1 week, but I don't think that's a good idea. I mean, everything is moving smooth. We should not take a break. We should just continue because we have just done 4 courses, right? And we still have 5 courses to do. So and this third course will take minimum of 3 weeks. Like this one has taken us 2 weeks, the third one will take us 3 weeks. Okay, and so on. So we should aim to kind of cover more courses. And this and I feel that this was not strenuous, right? This was not like wherein we are one is that we didn't have to spend too much uh, uh, time attending classes. It was just 3 classes and we stuck to it, right? That is one thing. And the second is that we were actually able to do everything hands on. So and I hope it will continue to be like this only throughout. So uh, I hope this was not very strenuous for you, right? How's it like compared to maybe earlier method of learning and going ahead with things? This is better, even from time consumption wise, for you guys. How's it? So yes, no. So, what I would recommend and suggest to you, all of you, is that people who are not coming, maybe thinking that oh, it's a lot of load to, do it. Please tell them that it has become eased out. And it was actually supposed to be like this because in the first month we had 2 courses and everything was totally new for us. We were just getting in the hang of things, and we had ended up taking two courses, and that's why the load was there. And in the second month the load was there because uh, 1 week I had to miss out on because of the death in the family, and then the last week we had to miss out almost 10 days because of the navratris, right? So we were effectively left with just two weeks or less than that time to finish the third course. And I think that's where the mindset felt that, oh, it's becoming too much. But in the fourth course, as we have seen, we have we have been able to do justice to it. At the same time, it hasn't consumed much time from our point of view, right? So please encourage all your classmates and everyone to start off with the fifth course as we start on Tuesday. Okay. it uh, uh, the good thing is the prerequisite for all of the remaining courses is only the first two courses, right? So even if suppose people have missed this course, they can still join the next course. It'll not be a problem. Okay. So what do you think? You suggest? Because I mean, I think it'll be a nice, every time I'm doing something so interesting, really amazing. At least I'm finding that it has become more interesting now, because once you start getting a hang of playing around with data, I feel that Excel is very powerful in certain ways, but it is so limited when I have to deal with directly with columns of data or matrices of data, right? Or which I can do so easily in R. It's simply amazing. I mean, you can just divide a matrix by a matrix. So it is very, very powerful, and you guys will actually be able to do some really solid analysis. I feel that way by the time we finish this, because we would have learned so many things. And most amazing thing is, like, for example, the next course, the research, I think it's what is it, um, reproducible research, is about how you do things so that others can understand. So it is also teaching you methodology of doing it, and those standards which are followed world over. So whatever these professors are using, and that they are de facto standards, we will be actually learning all of that. Hmm? So, and once we are done with this, I think it'll move on to more of statistical learning. So again, it'll become interesting. So I think it is going to be more and more interesting moving ahead for all of us. So make sure that you bring everyone else to class. And what else? Anything else that you can suggest to me so I can improve or make it even better? Or anything you suggest which can make me get more of the people to attend the classes? Are you guys there? Okay. Yeah, tell me, Utkarsh. Let me give you the mic rights, huh? Yeah, Utkarsh, please speak up.
Yeah, I think they have to come and believe you what you're saying. I mean, it's become much better now, but
Mhm.
they must be still in the old uh, course pattern. And they must have the old course pattern in their mind, so that's why they're not coming. So once they come and see, they'll believe that it's much better.
Mhm. So maybe you'll need to tell that, right? Because
Yes,
I think even there everything was going fine. The first month was like anyways hectic, lot of hecticness. Second week, second month, I was kind of a little disoriented. It was like, though I didn't tell you guys, it was I mean, we are a joint family, and my uncle expired, like Chacha ji, right? And he's younger than my father. So my father was really down, and I was taking care of him also. And so, I think that also affected that course. The whole flow got broken. And in this course, I had a lot of time at my hand to prepare myself well, and that's how it is. And so you guys talk to them that they should come and attend. It is
yes,
really nice. It is useful for them. They have paid the money. I feel a pinch that you spend so much money. You should get the worth out of it. All right. So,
yes, yeah.
what else? So we'll do that.
And I think
Otherwise, what is it? Is it the timing? Like, I know that some people who have been coming here today, also some of them are not there. Is it because it's too early? So even when they want to come, they end up missing out. Like, see, for example,
Um,
Sirish was very regular. I don't know what has happened to him.
for the timing way, I think if you'll keep it at some other time,
Hmm.
then probably we'll have to miss out some other things going on in the college. I mean, either we can go comfortably and miss out other things, or we have to take the pain of getting up early and attending the class, and
Hmm.
we also doing other things in the college. So
Okay.
that is a call to be taken.
I know. Well, so again, it would not be a good idea because if we do it in the evenings, as Salman also pointed out, a lot of issues will come up. You know. Uh, okay. So, uh, mm, yeah, Shruti, maybe talk to them that the load is not so much. It is much more easier now. Okay. So it's always like this whenever we do something new in the beginning, because see, we had taken the initiative on our own, right? This was not something which even I knew fully well. None of us knew it. So it's always like this: you take up a new challenge, things look a little murky in the beginning and then become better and clearer. Yeah. So second year has this load. Let me give you so second somebody who else shall I give the mic rights? I understand. Yeah. But maybe I mean I know that the load is there, but these classes now can be taken as more of a hobby rather than something that you have to do, because the load is just of maybe doing the project and all everything we are doing here in the class anyways. So maybe if they at least start attending classes at least, okay, maybe then they'll not submit the projects, etc. So what do you guys think? What can we do about it? Maybe we'll have to point out individually and see who all we can take care of. You know, say one person at a time, saying, okay, say if Utkar says, okay, I'll take care of Supreet and this fellow and so on, and then say Anmol says, I can take care of this people, and say Shruti says, okay, I can take care of these people. That way we can, come up better. For example, I don't see Dipankar. Lavita, I know she's got a problem, but what happened to Dipankar today? What what can be done? Salman is there? Or is Salman?
Dipankar, the way he is doing, the way he is not coming to the class, but he is doing the course side by side. And what happens is he's working on some other thing, तो
Hmm.
वो रात को काम करता है and then he's not able to wake up. उसको
Okay.
उठा के भी आओ तो फिर then he sleeps again. But he is doing the course after even after the
Okay.
class.
He's doing that. Okay. All right.
हाँ, he's
Okay.
doing that.
Okay. Um.
I mean, Lavita is taking care actually.
All right. Good. So second year rights, I'm a little concerned about. Uh, the questions in the project seem complicated to understand. Uh, Today's last question. So it will be easier. We can break question parts and then go for it. Uh, all right. So we'll do that, Pratik. Maybe what we will do is, yeah. Huh? Okay. Yeah. Um, but once we went through it, then it became clearer, right? So little bit I'm still leaving on you also, because otherwise completely detailed if I go in, the thinking that I feel the most thinking develops when you have nothing to be explained or you have to understand things on your own, but then the trade-off is that will take a lot of time for you. So I'm kind of just following the middle path wherein I'm saying, okay, little bit I'm explaining, little bit I assume that you should spend some time to kind of question, get confused, and get the clarity. Okay. So, so what about the other, cost of you're able to understand, but you're not able to practice these things. See, practice even I'm not able to do, but as long as, I mean, I'm just also focusing on ensuring that I'm doing the assignments and the projects, right? So we begin with that. And, once we're done with that, once when then we'll, even if we look at revision of it later on down the line, a lot of things will become easier. For me, time management principles are still the same. Check out your food, right? Don't eat anything which will spoil any, and see how what kind of where is see what kind of time you spend in the group, because when you're in the group, sometimes the time gets spent without even realizing, okay, and not adding any value to you. So that is what you need to. And maybe what I would say is finish it off. No, at least I have started doing this. I'm planning also that early I wake up early in the morning and study. So the day I have your class, I don't. But the day I don't have a class, I wake up and I use the same time to study. Okay. So fix some time to study and stick to it. And I think mornings can work out really nice if you actually discipline yourself. Because anyways, you're coming for data science class, and then on top of that, so you guys just need to shift your clock. You have those earplugs, you need more of them, I'll send them. So sleeping will not be a problem even if there is noise around. So what else can be taken care? Where is Shachi? What happened to her? Shruti, any idea? Subbu has already finished this course. Tenna, Vaibhav. So everyone is busy with the uh, placements, is it? Maybe all of you should get placed very quickly, so then you'll become relaxed and start attending the classes. Fest is there, is it? Okay. Hmm. So, hmm, what else? Big Bear test? What's that? Is it something internal that you guys have for placement filtering? But that's an internal test, is it? Let me give you the mic right, Shruti. I hope, th- you know, yeah, tell me, Shruti.
हाँ भैया
Huh.
प्लेसमेंट प्रोसेस के लिए एक फीडबैक का स्टूडेंट
So created a feedback loop. With Utkarsh, it was fine. Uh, I'm taking away the rights, okay? So I'm giving it back to Utkarsh. Maybe that's the mic that we can use. Huh. All right. I got your point. So, okay, internal aptitude kind of. Okay. All right. Hmm. What do I do? I feel this pinch that, students have enrolled for it and they're not able to come. Uh, okay. All right, Anmol. So, hmm. Okay. Maybe you do this job, right? You talk to at least all of you, each of you talk to your group members, huh? And see if they can start coming. It will be a fresh start from Tuesday, so new course. So hopefully they will be. It is little theoretical, I guess, the new course, but but that's how it is. So uh, um, in fact, after that, then there are very interesting ones. Beyond that, then let's just go to it. The remaining courses become very very interesting, I guess. Uh, all maths oriented and statistics and everything. Uh, what's that? So, like for example, the last course is artificial machine learning, and so again, very very. So we'll have statistical. Once we're done with reproducible research, after that it's all say statistical in, inference, regression models, machine learning. All right, these three courses will be very very interesting, I guess. I don't know about the developing data products one that's there, and then the capstone project, as you see. uh, Only for example this one was only open on October 27. After that it is not open for the next couple of months. The next time that we'll get it is around March, and my idea is that if we can finish all of this before that, we can then, yeah, Anmol, you can leave. In fact, all of you can leave if you need to. All right, so we'll be taking the project, and that'll be good. uh, Jai Gurudev Salman.